The holographic display flickered in the sterile conference room of the Galactic Council station, casting pale blue light across Maya's stoic face. She stood at the observation window, her arms crossed, watching the swirling nebula beyond with an expression that revealed nothing. Behind her, the Council's verdict echoed through the chamber, a proclamation that would have brought any other species to their knees. Effective immediately, humanity is hereby expelled from the galactic community. All trade agreements are terminated, all diplomatic channels closed. Earth and its colonies are to be quarantined indefinitely. William leaned against the doorframe, a half-smile playing at the corner of his lips. He'd been expecting this. They both had. "Well," he said, his voice carrying that peculiar mix of amusement and defiance that had become humanity's trademark among the stars, that went about as well as expected. Maya turned from the window, her dark eyes meeting his. They actually did it. 2 centuries of contribution to galactic science, technology, and culture, and they just cut us loose. Did you see Ambassador Thechner's face when the vote came through? William pushed off from the doorframe and walked toward the display console. I think he genuinely believed we'd beg for reconsideration. The decision had been building for decades. Humanity's problematic tendencies, as the Council termed them, had become too much for the older species to tolerate. Humans asked too many questions. They experimented too freely. They took risks that made the risk-averse Zenthari nervous and proposed solutions that horrified the tradition-bound Krell. Worst of all, they refused to accept impossible as an answer. The final straw had been the Kepler station incident. When a quantum anomaly threatened to collapse and swallow the entire station, along with its 15,000 inhabitants from 12 different species, the Council's scientific consensus was clear. Evacuation was impossible. Containment was impossible, and the station was lost. The prescribed solution was a mercy antimatter strike to prevent prolonged suffering. Maya and her team had other ideas. Working for 72 hours straight, they jerry-rigged a solution using human FTL theory, the same theory the Council had deemed dangerously unstable and banned from use in civilized space. They'd stabilized the anomaly, saved the station, and in the process, proven that half a dozen fundamental laws the galaxy held sacred were more like gentle suggestions. The Council hadn't thanked them, they'd censured them. Unauthorized experimentation with prohibited technologies, William recited, pulling up the formal charges on the display. Reckless endangerment of galactic stability, willful disregard for established scientific consensus. He scrolled further. Oh, and my personal favorite, persistent cultural incompatibility with galactic norms. That last one isn't even a crime, Maya observed. It's just them admitting they don't like us. Never was about the rules, Maya. It's about control. William collapsed the display with a gesture. They built this whole civilization on the idea that there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. We keep proving there are 1,000 ways they never imagined. The communication panel chimed. Maya activated it, and the face of Captain Elena Rodriguez appeared, transmitted from the UHSN Defiant in Earth orbit. "I'm watching the feeds," Rodriguez said without preamble. "The Council's making it official across all channels. They're spinning it as a protective measure, for the galaxy's protection from us, naturally." "Naturally," William echoed. "What's the mood back home?" Rodriguez's expression shifted into something that might have been a grin on a less disciplined officer. "You remember how we used to joke about humanity being the galaxy's rebellious teenager? Well, teenager just moved out of the house." She paused. "Admiral Chen wants you both on the next transport home. We're convening an emergency session of the United Human Systems government." "Tell the Admiral we're on our way," Maya said. "And Rodriguez, start running the numbers on our strategic position. Independent operation scenarios." "Already done, ma'am. Been running them for 6 months." Rodriguez's smile was definitely visible now. "You're going to want to see these projections." The transmission ended, leaving Maya and William alone with the vast silence of space beyond the window. You know what the funny thing is? William moved to stand beside her. They think this is a punishment. They genuinely believe cutting us off will bring us in line, make us see the error of our ways. Maya nodded slowly. They don't understand that we've been preparing for this. And they had been. Not preparing for the band specifically, but preparing for independence, because that's what humans did. They planned for contingencies. While other species saw the galactic community as the pinnacle of civilization, an eternal structure that would last forever, humanity had studied history. Empires fell. Alliances fractured. The only constant was change, and the only security was self-reliance. Earth's colonies had been strategically positioned. Human technology development had never fully relied on galactic imports. The human FTL drive, banned by the Council, was in many ways superior to the approved versions, faster, more efficient, if admittedly more prone to requiring creative problem-solving when issues arose. Humanity's industrial capacity, forged in the crucible of a species that had nearly destroyed itself before reaching the stars, was robust and adaptive. The transport back to Earth took 3 days. 3 days during which the galactic networks exploded with commentary. Some species expressed relief at humanity's expulsion. Others, particularly younger civilizations, watched with a mixture of fear and fascination. A few, very quietly, reached out through back channels to express sympathy and interest in maintaining unofficial contact. The Zenthari were the most vocal in their approval of the ban. Their representative, a crystalline being whose thought patterns were notoriously rigid, had given a lengthy address about the restoration of order and proper scientific method. William watched the speech with Maya in the transport's observation lounge, both of them nursing coffee, a beverage that had, interestingly, become quite popular among several alien species despite humanity's impending isolation. Proper scientific method, William repeated. You mean the method where you decide what's possible before you experiment and reject any results that don't fit your preconceptions. To be fair, Maya said, their method works well enough when you're dealing with stable, predictable systems. Which is why they haven't had a major scientific breakthrough in 3,000 years. William set down his cup. They're not wrong that our approach is risky, Maya. We've had accidents. People have died in our experiments. People die in the pursuit of knowledge. That's the price of progress. She met his eyes. The difference is we choose to pay it. They've chosen stagnation dressed up as wisdom. Earth appeared in the viewport, that blue-green marble that had launched a species of curious, stubborn primates into the cosmos. Maya felt something catch in her chest, pride, perhaps, or determination. This world had produced a species that looked at the impossible and said, "Watch me." The emergency session of the United Human Systems Government was held in Geneva, in a building that deliberately blended old Earth architecture with new materials, a physical manifestation of humanity's philosophy of honoring the past while racing toward the future. Admiral Chen, a compact woman whose calm demeanor concealed a strategic mind that had outmaneuvered Council fleets in 3 separate border disputes, stood at the podium. The ban is comprehensive, she told the assembled representatives. All formal trade agreements are terminated. All embassy staff are being recalled. We have 60 days to withdraw from Council space stations and mixed settlements. A murmur ran through the chamber. 60 days was aggressive, clearly meant to destabilize human operations. However, Chen continued, and her tone shifted subtly, we are not without options. In fact, I would argue that this ban may be the best thing that's happened to humanity since we reached the stars. That got everyone's attention. Chen brought up a holographic display showing human space, Earth, Mars, the belt colonies, the extrasolar settlements, the science stations, the commercial outposts. It was an impressive network, Maya thought, more impressive than most in the room probably realized. For 2 centuries, we've operated within Council constraints, Chen said. Council-approved technologies, Council-sanctioned research, Council-designated trade routes. We accepted these limitations because we believed cooperation was worth the cost. She paused. That calculation has changed. William stood, his voice carrying clearly. Admiral, what are you proposing? I'm proposing we do what humanity has always done when told we can't do something. Chen's smile was sharp. We prove them wrong. The plan that emerged over the next several hours was audacious, comprehensive, and quintessentially human. Earth would not merely survive independence, it would thrive. The human FTL drive would be deployed without restriction. Exploration missions would be fast-tracked to sectors the Council had declared off-limits for various reasons. Trade agreements would be established with independent systems and younger species, offering better terms than the Council ever had. Research that had been shelved as too dangerous would be revisited with proper safety protocols but without arbitrary limits. We're not just leaving the Council, Maya realized, speaking into the momentary silence. We're racing past them. Exactly, Chen confirmed. Within a generation, maybe 2, they'll realize what they've lost, but by then it will be too late, we'll be too far ahead. The vote was unanimous. 6 months later, Maya stood once again at an observation window, but this time aboard the UHSN Pioneer, humanity's first deep space exploration vessel designed without any Council restrictions. Beside her, William monitored the navigation systems as they prepared to jump to a system 1,700 light-years from Earth, a system the Council had barely explored because it was too distant to be economically viable. Ready? William asked. Always, Maya replied. The stars stretched and folded as the human FTL drive engaged, carrying them toward unknown possibilities at speeds the Council insisted were impossible. Back in Council space, Ambassador Thechner received the latest intelligence reports on human activities with growing unease. Independent trade agreements with 6 new species, 3 major scientific breakthroughs in previously settled fields, expansion into regions of space the Council had written off. The galaxy had decided to ban Earth. Humanity had smirked and walked away. And now, watching them disappear into the cosmos at impossible speeds, pursuing impossible dreams, the Council was beginning to understand what they'd actually done. They hadn't punished humanity. They'd set it free.